Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video, doing the GavsWeatherVids September forecast for today's second video. So I'm going to give you GavsWeatherVids September forecast in a moment. We'll go for some long-range data first of all though. So have a look at CANSIPS, CFS and Beijing Climate Centre for September. Then I'll give you GavsWeatherVids forecast. We'll also have a review of the August forecast, and at the end of the video have a sneak peek at October. So yeah, it can be quite an interesting watch. So I'll get on with you in a second. Just say about the first video release date was our 7 AM forecast. We've also got weekend forecast going for you later on, and a 10 to 14 day as well. Please like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much everybody for doing that, and I hope you're having a lovely Saturday. Right, so here we go, climate averages page at the UK Met. So this is how August temperature anomaly came out. It was warmest in the north and coolest in the south. That's something we've seen a lot of, or we did see a lot of through the mid-tropical summer of 2021. So yeah, we see Scotland and Northern Ireland with slightly above average temperatures, southern, southeastern England with slightly below average temperatures, and in between a large area of near normal temperatures. In terms of precipitation, it's actually quite a dry August in many areas. A few specific, limited places, a little bit wetter. Eastern Scotland, Northern Ireland, a little bit closer to average or slightly above average there. But generally, most areas were either average or drier than average, especially so for Northern and Western Scotland, and many parts of Central and Eastern England came away with a drier than average August as well. Some places having less than 33% of their average rainfall, so a very dry August in a few places. And it's also a very, very dull August as well. So Western Scotland did actually come away with slightly above average sunshine, but the rest of the country, and especially so for much of central, southern and eastern England, coming out duller than average. Some areas very, very dull indeed, having like 50% or less of their average sunshine. It's one of the dullest Augusts for a very, very long time. And, it's just a very, very bleak month, really, for August across, particularly, as I say, like the Midlands, Central, Southern and Eastern England. Now, the GavsWeatherVids August forecast, we did predict like average to cooler than average temperatures. It was a rather cooler month away from Scotland and Northern Ireland. So I think on the temperature side of things, it went okay. We expected it to be a rather cooler month, especially compared to the warm June and July that we had. We said the anomaly to, well, it wouldn't be a particularly cold month, of course. We said that the anomaly to average would probably be quite a bit lower compared to the, 1.5 degrees above average that we had for June and July. So that side of things worked out okay, but we thought it'd be quite a mixed month, and so that didn't work out. It did come out as a cooler month, but it did it in a different way, basically being just dry and overcast on many, many days, especially later on in the month with like northeasterly winds. So actually we come away with a dry August. We predicted it would probably be quite an unsettled August. Some areas, especially the northwest, tended to have above average rainfall. So the overall pattern, I think, for the August didn't go that well, and the precipitation side of things didn't go all that well either. So a mixed bag. We did correctly predict that the summer would deteriorate from June and July, but the way it happened was a little bit different to what we expected. It was a strange August, within, quite a strange and odd summer. We are going to review the summer forecast, by the way, quite shortly. And overall, I think the summer forecast did quite well. I am quite pleased with it, but more about that when we do the review of the summer forecast in a week or two's time. So in terms of, like, out of 10, I would rate the August forecast like a 4 out of 10, something like that. Right, okay, so let's move on with the September forecast then. So we're going to start off with CANSIPS mean sea level pressure anomalies from Tropical Tidbits. So forecasting quite unsettled September actually, with low pressure across the UK and across Ireland as well. So CANSIPS definitely going for low pressure to be like the driving factor through September. It means that the temperature anomaly for September with CANSIPS is around average, possibly a little bit above for northern and western areas, but nearer normal for England and for Wales. And also goes rather wetter than average month away from northern parts of Scotland. I'm not sure about this at all. this forecast, but you can only go by what the model is saying. It is going for quite a wet month, actually, for much of England, where I say northern and northwestern Scotland coming out a little bit drier in September. So a rather coolish and sort of wettish September being predicted by CANSIPS. So the CFS V2 is looking much more anticyclonic, above average height, sitting just to our east. Low pressure sort of out in the Atlantic. This low pressure will try and bring unsettled weather. We're kind of between the high pressure and the low pressure. We're in a bit of a no man's land with CFS V2. Temperature anomaly for September with CFS is close to average or perhaps a bit above, especially for more northern parts of the country. Scotland in particular comes away with a warmer than average month, otherwise near normal in many areas, or no signal. A rather dryish sort of month you expect as well, average to a little bit drier than average. Actually, it's a very wet month for France, so rainfall is not going to be all that far away from us, but CFS is keeping a lot of that over the other side of the channel, and generally average to a little bit on the drier than average side, and average to a little bit on the warmer than average side, I think is the prediction, really, from CFS V2. And then we've got Beijing Climate Centre, 500 millibar height anomaly for September, which looks like this, generally going for above average heights. However, the way it breaks down is that it sees like first 10 days of September to be anticyclonic and the final 10 days of September to be anticyclonic. But in between, there's quite an unsettled spell going on actually between the 11th and the 20th. So around the middle of the month, it does get things more unsettled. So not continuous high pressure all month, but overall, as the anomaly for the 30 days, it is above average heights, higher pressure. Temperature anomalies for September with Beijing Climate Centre are coming out warmer than average, and the precipitation anomaly for September near normal to a bit drier than average, wettest to the north and northwest of the country, driest to the south and southwest, southeast of the country. Rather dryish and relatively mild or warm September being predicted there, but not excessively hot. So it's a bit of a mixed bag with these models. I think we can see a bit of a trend here, though, and I think we're going to go with GavsWeatherVids autumn forecast. We've only just released it, so why not? Which the autumn forecast, suggested quite a lot of high pressure increases through September, so rather dry of an average month overall for many of us, and a bit warmer than average as well. Not excessively hot though, so we are probably going to get a few days of hot weather next week. But I don't think overall it's going to be an excessively hot September. We make away with a really warm, really hot September. Occasionally you can get one of those, but I would suspect this is going to be, CET around half a degree to 1 degree above average, something like that. And UK wide temperatures again around half a degree, 1 degree above the 81 2010 average, something like that. So it's going to be mild, it's going to be quite a warm month, but not extremely hot, and rather dry and average as well. There's quite a bit of high pressure. There will be unsettled periods, unsettled into. So a classic sort of September, really. September is often quite a dryish month and does have alternating air masses. Sometimes it can get quite warm, other times it can get relatively cool as well. I would suspect as the month goes on, it probably trends a little bit more and more unsettled. So in the final week of the month, we may find ourselves going into a properly unsettled spell with wet and windy weather and much cooler weather as well. That would be typical and classic for September to do that after the autumn equinox. But overall quite a dryish anticyclonic sort of September, relatively dry and a little bit warmer than average. CT somewhere in the 14s, I would have thought, but not excessively hot in the 15s or 16s. But of course we might get a excessively hot month, and we can't discount CANSIPS as well, and that is going for a very unsettled and rather cooler September. There's not much sign of that being the shorter range model output, which gets up to the middle part of September anyway. So we're looking rather classic for September. Let's just have a little sneak peek at October, shall we, before we go. So this would be CFS V2 700 millibar height anomaly for October. It's a rather strange and bizarre looking anomaly. So you have like a circle of above average heights to the south, to the west, and to the north, and also to the east as well. And then in between, you've got this white area, which is probably going to be a trough of low pressure, but it doesn't really show that as a trough. But given all the ridging, like the circular ridging that's going on, I suspect in the middle, there's probably a trough of low pressure. So that could actually be quite a cool and unsettled signal for October. But it is a very, very strange, very bizarre Anomaly. I doubt that will verify. I'm sure that the CFS before the end of September will shift that quite a lot in one direction or another. So we shall leave October alone, and we'll worry about it when we get to it. So come back to GavsWeatherVids September forecast. We're going for a rather dry and average month, quite a lot of high pressure influences. There will be some unsettled periods of time, perhaps most likely towards the end of the month, and generally a bit on the drier side, a little bit on the warm and average side as well. Not excessive though, very classic, very typical sort of September coming up, really. Right, if you enjoyed the end, please go smash the like button. Thank you so much for doing that, and drop a comment. Let us know what you think. What do you think is going to happen in September? Let me know in the comments. We'll be back very shortly with week ahead forecast, and we're also going to have a 10 to 14 day for you as well. So keep checking back to the channel for all of the updates and content. But for the September forecast, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.